The article I have for this week is pretty much regarding the IRS guidelines and all those tax information we need to know for the end of the year. So just to recap, the article I found was from HR Morning. And it pretty much is talking about how the IRS has updated their FAQs for paid leave under the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. So the first new added FAQ was clarifying if an eligible employer that claims tax credits for wages paid after December of 2021, if they have to report that in box 14. The IRS says yes. And then the other FAQ was regarding information regarding self-employed employees who claimed the self-employed equivalent leave tax credit and get a form W-2C. So with that answer, it always depends because each self-employer is very different in those scenarios. So when you're filing your taxes at the end of the year, just check in to make sure that you're filing and creating any amendments that are necessary for proper reporting.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you sharing this, Maria, because I think that when it comes to anything in regards to the IRS, but specifically the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, there has been ongoing changes, and it's very, very difficult to keep up. And I appreciate that you shared this because I think that it's going to apply to a lot of people. And I do hope that they are consulting with their tax professionals to make sure that, one, they are getting the appropriate tax credits for any sort of leave or health insurance coverage that they may have maintained as part of this plan. But it is very important not only for the business side and business taxes, but also ensuring that the employees have the proper statements for their records and for filing their taxes as well. So in regards to the W-2Cs and the corrected statements, I think that it's important to note that you want to work with your payroll provider or your tax professional to get those issued out if they apply to you. But if you're not certain, while we at Jumpstart are not tax professionals, we're HR professionals that give HR advice, we encounter situations like this on a very frequent basis. And we're happy to work with small businesses to help navigate items in this space or similar space. So if you have questions or you're wondering how this might apply to you, then feel free to hit us up. We'd love to hear from you. Maria, did you have anything else that you wanted to add on this topic?
I would just make sure you're being proactive. That's all I can say, because it's easier to prevent this from happening than going back and filing an amendment and then sending out letters to your staff.
Absolutely. I think we've all been there. We've all worked with a client who's had to go through that process. And speaking from experience, not only is it a tremendous amount of work, it can be really frustrating for everybody involved. So best to try to avoid it if possible. Great advice.